Tonight, the latest on the murder trial of former Patriot Aaron Hernandez.
In the last half hour, the jury wrapped up its 6th day of deliberations without reaching a verdict.
Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau is standing by with exclusive analysis about the lengthy deliberations.
But first, let's go live to Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell with the latest from Fall River Superior Court.
We only saw the jury at the very beginning of the day and then again at the end. Today, they didn't have any questions for the judge. The jury has deliberated for about 35 hours. Today, they didn't send any notes to the judge.
Please return tomorrow.
Of course, there's no way to know how deliberations are going, but we do know the jurors haven't asked any questions about the murder charge Aaron Hernandez is facing. One note from the jury requested smoke breaks. Other notes asked for clarification on Hernandez's lesser charges of unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of ammunition. Prosecutors say Aaron Hernandez planned the execution-style killing of Odin Lloyd in this North Attleboro Industrial Park in June of 2013. But the defense has argued one of Hernandez's alleged co-conspirators, Ernest Wallace or Carlos Ortiz, shot Lloyd under the influence of PCP. Both men have pleaded not guilty to murder charges, and according to the Bristol County District Attorney's Office, their trial dates have not been set. Aaron Hernandez's fiancée, Cheyenne Jenkins, was here in the courtroom today. She was alone. She was reading a book all day long.
Susan, at the end of each day, we hear about the judge bringing the jury back into the courtroom. What's she saying to them each day?
Yeah, every day it's kind of the same speech. She reminds the jury they're not allowed to read about the case, they're not allowed to watch the news, and they're certainly not allowed to talk with people about this case. She just wants to make sure the jury remembers that as they're leaving at the end of each day.
All right, Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell. Susan, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you at Eyewitness News at 6. Now, we begin tonight with the Aaron Hernandez murder trial. Jurors have now completed a 6th day of deliberations without a verdict.
They'll be back tomorrow to continue discussing the fate of the former football star accused of killing Odin Lloyd in North Attleboro.
We have in-depth coverage for you tonight. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau has a closer look at the judge's instructions to the jury about reasonable doubt.
But first, let's go to Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell live outside Fall River Superior Court.
Today, the jury didn't send any notes to the judge. In fact, their most recent note was yesterday's note requesting breaks for smoking. After about 35 hours of deliberations, there's still no verdict in Aaron Hernandez's trial. Jurors began to deliberate the former football star's case last Tuesday afternoon, and they'll be back at it again tomorrow morning.
Please return tomorrow to resume your deliberations.
The jury is trying to get to unanimous verdicts on 3 charges: murder for the death of Odin Lloyd, unlawful possession of a firearm, and unlawful possession of ammunition. If Aaron Hernandez is found guilty of first-degree murder for Lloyd's death, he will be given a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors say Hernandez shot Lloyd to death in this North Attleboro Industrial Park in June of 2013. But the defense has said one of Hernandez's alleged co-conspirators, Ernest Wallace or Carlos Ortiz, killed Lloyd in a PCP-induced rage. Wallace and Ortiz have both pleaded not guilty to murder charges. Their trial dates have not been set.
Susan, you've been at the courtroom every single day of this trial. How would you describe the demeanor of Aaron Hernandez when the jury walks back into the courtroom?
So when the jury walks in, we all have to stand up. Aaron Hernandez stands up very straight and tall. He often folds his arms in front of him or hands in front of him. He looks at the jury, though the jury doesn't very often return that glance in his direction.
All right, thank you very much, Susan. Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell reporting live outside Fall River Superior Court.